Quite a high energy start. This is Dean Hunt, and I'm with Ciaran Doyle. Say hi, Ciaran.
Hello, guys. This is Ciaran Doyle, and I am with Dean Hunt here. So, how you doing?
I'm doing well, buddy. And should we explain roughly why we're doing these crazy ramblings?
Right, go for it, Dean. You first.
Yeah, basically, Ciaran and I have been meeting up quite a few times recently. We've always had like a really good chemistry. We've connected quite well, always kind of thrown out some interesting nuggets and a few off-the-wall comments and that sort of thing. And we thought it would be a shame to not capture those moments and share it with people. So, as a little bit of an experiment, we're considering doing a weekly podcast. And this is our kind of litmus test and our dipping the toe in the water kind of experiment, just to see if you guys like it. Maybe you think that we're crazy British and Irish idiots and it's a bad idea, or maybe you think it's awesome. So we're creating this. It's our pilot episode, if you will. And speaking of that, Ciaran, we don't have a name for the show. Any thoughts?
DC Comics? No, that's taken, isn't it?
Yeah, Coca-Cola. I was thinking, I know I've mentioned this before, and I don't think you liked it, but I'm quite coming around to Rock, Paper, Success.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Oh, damn it. Killer Bunny Business Building.
Yes, let's just focus it completely on DeanHunt.com, righto?
Why not? I think maybe it should be called DeanHunt.com.
Dean Hunt's podcast.
Yeah.
Including nobody else. Dean plays two people on the podcast, isn't that it?
No, I've got it now. That's good. Dean Hunt and Friends.
All right. Here, listen. All right, we will come up with the name anyway, Dean. And as we said before to any people, we've done a short one before in the past. I think it was only like about 10 minutes or so. But if anybody does have any good ideas of names, that would be absolutely brilliant to hear, and we'd love to hear that. You see, both myself and Dean, we really are, well, the thing is, we hit it off actually on a kind of on a mates level before we actually discovered that we had a lot more in common in business as well.
Absolutely.
And you know what, we actually do. We have a nice little relationship.
I think you hit the nail on the head. There was kind of a good rapport, and then it went from a childish down the pub style relationship to a serious business one. And so we're going to try and tap into both. We're going to try and bring the yin and the yang, combine them together, and come up with yang yin or something special. So yeah, very excited to be doing this, buddy. And I think
definitely, Dean,
you hit a good point there. If people listening to this have any thoughts, if they listen to this and a name for the show pops into their head, we should sort out a prize. Anyone who comes up with the winning name, we should give them, I don't know, a box of tablets. Or, I don't know. I've got some spare
tablets.
I've got some spare tweezers here, so you know, some nail tweezers. So that's a prize. We're on a very low budget, so hopefully that'll be cool. And should we get into it? Should we get straight into
It's just
show?
the experience, guys. That's all you've got to remember. It's the experience. You're getting in on the ground level of something which could be something good.
Something quite special. So my cleaner's just arrived, by the way, so I apologise for any background noise.
You have a cleaner.
I know, I'm a lazy sod.
That's right.
Hey, how you doing? I think I'm in love with her, actually.
Is she Mexican?
Russian.
Oh, all right.
Got to be careful, like 2 meters away from me, so I have to talk quietly. But no, let's get into the show. Right, Ciaran, I want to start out. We've not prepped this, but I want to get your thoughts on this. I'm going to call it Signs You Were Entrepreneurial as a Kid. And this is aimed at you and I, but also for anyone listening to this. Was there any signs that when you were really young, like age 4 to 10, let's say, that any signs that you look back on and you think, hey, now I understand why I'm an entrepreneurial business maverick? Was there any indicators?
Yes, there always has been. There has always been kind of little things in my life that I've actually done. I grew up in a place called Ashburn in County Meath in Ireland, which was a small little suburb town outside of Dublin. And all around me were fields and kind of like sheep and cows and kind of bushes all in the fields behind me. And what I used to do when I was about 4 or 5, I used to go out into the fields and go picking blackberries during the summer.
Nice.
And so what I'd do was I'd come back and my mum would actually pay me for the blackberries. So it was kind of like to keep me out of trouble, you know, that way, so I wouldn't be out rampaging or anything like that. What I used to do was I used to go out there and actually pick the blackberries and then I think sell them to my mum. And then also what I started doing a little bit later in school was my mum used to give me these, I think I was about 7 at this time. My mum used to give me these absolutely disgusting packets of crisps for for school dinner or for school lunch, because in Ireland we didn't have kind of school dinners or anything like that. We used to have to bring our own packed lunch.
Nice.
So she used to give me packets of scallion crisps. Scallion flavoured crisps of all things. And there was this guy called Richard Carty, and he used to buy them off me so it was 5 packets a week for £1.
Nice.
And it was absolutely brilliant. You know, back then, kind of like £1 when you had no money or anything like that. It was absolutely, you know, it was like, great, let's do this, you know. So, you know what, I used to get that pound, and I used to kind of go and buy sweets, kind of sell them, and I used to kind of create also little jumble sales on my doorstep, selling my stuff so I could have more money and go and buy stuff. And, you know, yeah. So I was constantly doing a little bit of wheeling and dealing when I was younger.
Awesome. So, well, the stars aligned from an early age, and I believe that the authorities should need to look into the fact that your mum was endorsing child labour. So, there's some issues there. Yeah, I always said that I wasn't entrepreneurial as a child, and I was thinking about this morning, and I think that's probably not true. One of the things I definitely kept, kind of a pattern in my childhood, was wanting to write a book. And I remember I went on a holiday when I was very young with my cousins. There was my gran, bless her, used to take me and my 4 cousins and my brother on a holiday on her own, which was no mean feat in itself.
Bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, and I remember, do you remember like the arcade machines, like Street Fighter and things like that?
Yes, I love them.
Yeah, my nan, bless her again, she was also quite tight in the money respect. So we used to get 10 pence in the morning and 20 pence in the evening to go down the amusement arcade and play on these machines. And Street Fighter 2 was the big hit at the time. So we'd go down, spend all our money on Street Fighter. And then I kind of took control and said to my cousins, right, I think I was about 7 at the time, I said, right, we need to write a book based on Street Fighter, get it published, and we'll all be rich. And bless it, you know, in my head, I hadn't realized any copyright issues or anything like that, but I thought it was highly achievable. There was nothing in my head that thought, this is probably not going to happen. You know, I was right behind it. And even, you know, for the rest of the holiday, we were just coming up with plot ideas and all crazy stuff like that. So I suppose looking back, that was something. I even once, Ciaran, I actually, when times were extremely hard, we went into a field with a wheelbarrow and dug up a load of soil and then tried to sell it door to door for people's gardens. So, in hindsight, it was probably not my best business idea. But probably the best business idea came when I was about 13. I think we'd just gone to high school. And me and my best friend at the time, Sean, we decided to create a business called Turd on a Tie. And basically what we'd do is we'd get a little badge and Sean would get like this clay material. He'd kind of put it into the shape of a little turd, like a spirally little dog turd, put it in the oven for about 15 minutes, take it out so it was hard, paint it brown, and then super glue it onto the little badge. And then you'd put it on your school tie, and it was kind of like a rebellious badge of honor or something like that. So we went round. I think it was about 50p for a turd on your tie. And
Very good.
Yeah, I think we wanted like an upsell to a premium version. Was that we got some what we call fart gas, which was like a very smelly thing that you could buy at joke stores. And we actually, for an extra
amazing stuff.
Yeah, for an upsell, we would spray the actual turd on your tie so that it actually smelled of real turd as well. But, yeah, that was in hindsight. I think that might have been entrepreneurial. It might have been a sign of madness. So there we go.
Well, there's a what's it, a thin line between those two anyway, isn't there?
Yeah, and I crossed it quite clearly.
The thing with most people is, you know what, when you look back at your life, these can be used as kind of like little things to help you along the way, to get you kind of motivated about your future as well. You know, if you look back and you see what you've done, like you see kind of all these good things that you've done, these are things like, even if they happened when you're like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, there's still little parts in your mind that you can take on board kind of and go, wow, I felt good at that time. I did something and I achieved something there. So I can actually do what I need. Dean, I'm sorry, mate. I keep on going back into motivation again.
That's why you're here, buddy. You're Mr. Motivator, which we'll touch on a little later, actually. But that's one of the main reasons I kind of wanted you on these. I invited you into the Dean and Friends podcast.
Dean, you will be getting many slaps later.
I'm in trouble. No, I think you know, it sounds kind of cheesy, but you are a very inspirational guy. And